I've never seen a ratio like this in my entire life. So the New York Post, of course, came out with another incredible article saying the New York City medic helped make ends meet with racy OnlyFans side gig. And AOC said, leave her alone. The actual scandalous headline here is medics in the United States needs 2 jobs to survive. It's great. That's a great take. And that is also the actually incredible part about this. And yet, New York Post is going to do what New York Post does. It's a dish rag. It is an absolute dish rag. Amazing journalism from the New York Post is just too deep for these libs to understand. Exactly. First of all, there's nothing wrong with having an OnlyFans. OnlyFans is awesome. Shut the fuck up. What have you done? Like, here's what frustrates me about this. It's like, dog, you work for the New York Post. Your net output is a negative. You make the world a worse place. People that are on OnlyFans make the world a better place. They put out content that people can crank it to. That is infinitely better and has infinitely more utility than most members of the fucking media. Sorry, that's just the fucking truth. So shut the fuck up. Know your fucking place, you stupid fuck. That is my take for journalists that cover sex workers in a negative capacity that make it seem like people that are doing sex work are bad because they're doing sex work. And it's not like she's doing something bad. Like, it's not like she's a racist. It's not like she's like hurt people. Her statement says that she begged the reporter to let her remain anonymous, yet he ignored it and went to call her mother and employer. Oh my God. I want to start out by thanking all of you so much for standing up for me and fighting. I've read all your comments and messages. I'm feeling very overwhelmed with love and gratitude. Let me also say that I truly believe I do not have to explain myself, but I want to. I know in my heart I did nothing wrong, but it really helps to be reminded I do not deserve to be treated like this. All my life, I've been sexualized and treated as a sex object no matter what I do or say. I sold pictures of myself on the internet for extra money because it's easy. I didn't pick up extra shifts because I cannot work 40+ hour weeks to maintain my mental health. I did not ask my parents for help because I'm an adult and want to make my own money. I never once spoke of my pictures of work or used my job as a paramedic to solicit subscribers. I know I did nothing wrong and I have nothing to be ashamed of. Most of the quotes of the article are me defending myself to this reporter. He did not include that I begged him to remain anonymous, which was never agreed to, and that I told him my safety and job were going to be at risk if he posted this article. He truly did not care. He went on to call my employer and my mother. Dude, they're such fucking pieces of shit. It's so messed up. Here's what Dean Balsami, who wrote this article, looks like. Yeah, of course. It should be harder to come out to your family as a New York Post reporter than it is as a sex worker. I wonder how he found her OnlyFans. Maybe his family would like the little bit of horn dog he is. Yeah, literally. Don't you think OnlyFans are fueling like the simp culture? What the fuck is the simp culture? Twitch is fueling the simp culture. Any sort of social media is fueling simp culture. Any sort of outlet that you can go to where you can develop a more meaningful bond with the content creator that you love and enjoy the content of is creating simp culture. You are just upset about the sex part of it, okay? That's the difference. Most of the people that criticize sex work criticize it on anti-capitalist terms, but more often than not, they're not criticizing the work itself. They're just criticizing the sex part of the work itself. Having said that, you should actively simp for me. I know feminists that says OnlyFans is bad because people who use it to sell out the horniness and desires of men. What do you think? Yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't. There's a market for it and people are catering to it. I would rather have people sexualize themselves on their own terms than on other people's terms. Most of the people that say that also look like the female version of this guy. I hate sex work because it sexualizes and objectifies women. It's like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, if they want to do that, why are you bent out of shape? Like, fuck you. Why are you praising sex work like it's God's work or some shit? Sex work is only for people that don't have talent and can't do nothing else. I'm sorry. I can't do fucking sex work. Can you? Do you think anyone would crank it out to your fucking shit-ass limpdick, Steve McGleef? What are you, fucking out of your mind, dude? It is a remarkably difficult fucking job. That's such a fucking weirdo incel take. Are you really ignoring the use of pornography as a patriarchal capitalization and mercantilization of women? Also ignoring the history of sexual enslavement of women as sexual workforce? Cancel all work. What did I tell you? Cancel all fucking work. Inherently, all work is enslavement. Okay? Your take is you need to stretch it to the sexual enslavement of women, a thing that is bad, to talk about something that is theoretically what is happening right now that is good. I am talking about instances where women and men choose to consent to do an OnlyFans. We're not talking about sexual enslavement. It's like saying, really, athletes, you're really going to sit here and say you love watching sports, or that sports is overall a net benefit in as far as entertainment goes, when gladiators, we're not going to talk about the history of gladiators being enslaved to kill one another? Why would you talk about watching sports when fucking gladiators used to kill one another as slaves. But it's bad that some women have to resort to it to make ends meet, but they shouldn't have to if they don't want to. There are women and men out there resorting to sex work because they have no other option. What you're supposed to do for them is make that situation as good for them as possible, okay? You don't fucking eliminate, for example, online tools they have to make their sex work a more safe and enjoyable experience for them, like Sesta Fosta did. You don't do any of that, okay? In an effort to like stop them from fucking doing sex work. It's just work. It's like talking about how we need to abolish McDonald's. If you are in a horrible situation, most jobs that you take on are going to be absolutely fucking disastrous. Instead of abolishing that job in its entirety, what we must do is make that a more fulfilling experience for those who work in these sectors, okay? What, you think fucking working at McDonald's is fulfilling and great? No, it's not. The way we treat sex workers is basically like, oh, that job sucks, and I know better than you. You shouldn't do it. You don't want to do it, but you're doing it right now, so I'm going to make sure that you can't do it. It's fucking dumb. It's like, oh, you're poor, you maybe have a criminal record, and therefore your future job opportunities are limited as a consequence of that, as a consequence of your material conditions. So now you're working at McDonald's. Well, sucks. That job is terrible for you. So what we're going to do instead is literally fucking eliminate that job or make it harder for you to work at McDonald's. You can be critical of how pornography/prostitution promotes the objectification of women without being a swerve. The reason why I find this to be fucking ridiculous is because men engage in pornography and prostitution as well, but you're completely overlooking that side of it because you are unironically participating in the patriarchal understanding, the antiquated patriarchal understanding of how every time a woman has sex, it must be like some form of exploitation. What is that fucking classic take, which is like under a patriarchal societal formation, every instance of sex is still coercive and therefore rape? Yeah, every time a woman has sex with a man, it's rape because we live in a patriarchal existence. Comparing sex work with normal work is like comparing rape with getting punched in the face. No, it's not. What do you mean normal work? Sex work is normal work. Sex work is work. Oh, it's so funny that it's literally just all... It's all fucking incels. And whenever we have a conversation about sex work on this channel, there is a beautiful unity that we experience between psychotic, horny incels and the swerfs. They get together and handshake emoji their way into shitting on sex workers. It's fucking awesome. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to see two people on the opposite sides of the political spectrum come together in harmony and shit on some of the more marginalized people in our workforce. Women shouldn't do this because it makes my pee-pee feel good. And then on the other end, you're like, women shouldn't do this because it's exploitative and objectifying. Hey, let's stop treating women like objects, incel-re. I mean, what's more fucking dehumanizing than saying women do not have the capacity to consent to sex work? There is nothing more dehumanizing than being like, women literally cannot consent to doing sex work. It's still technically exploitative and objectifying. You cannot do it. You sound like one of those people in like Laïcité, France, who says things like, oh, well, you cannot consent to wearing a hijab. Sorry, we are not going to let you do that. When you're so woke that you literally end up fucking telling women what you can and can't wear. You can't cover your body this way. You are not allowed. You know, just like if you look at Saudi Arabia, you're like, you can't show your body this way. You are not allowed. Well, if you go somewhere else, you can't cover your body this way. You are not allowed. Great. Good stuff. How about we just let people do whatever the fuck they want as long as it doesn't harm others? Sex work is different to normal work in the sense that you not only sell your labor, but your body. Really? Explain to me what kind of labor where you don't sell your body. Yo, people literally are out here like, oh, dude, I would never do OnlyFans, and then fucking join the military, okay? Have you considered that for a second? Like athletes. What labor force are you participating in where you're not technically selling your body? Coal miners, Amazon factory fulfillment center workers. And the job isn't to eliminate that in its entirety. The goal is to make it as easy as possible for them and as implement workplace safety regulations, things like that. And a pathway towards that, making it easier for sex workers to do their wonderful jobs that we all literally take advantage of. Every single person in here has taken advantage of sex work. Like, everyone cranks it out, okay? You love watching porn, but you fucking hate the people that are doing that for you. It's so psychotic to me. It's so selfish. It reminds me of the MAGA chuds that are like, yeah, you know, I love my football. I love my NFL, but like, don't you dare explain to me. Don't you dare remind me that you're a black person who has criticisms of the American government and policing. Like, it's literally like that. It's like you love fucking cranking it out to your favorite porn stars, but you fucking hate it when you're like, oh, they're real human beings outside of that. Fuck. You're literally a fucking millionaire and you sit behind your desk scrolling Twitter and you can't understand the circumstances that force people into sex work, and yet you glorify it. If you want to praise sex work, then start an OnlyFans. For your simps, daddy, I'll pay you big bucks, please. I beg you. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. This is pretty introductory conversations about sex work. We haven't even gotten to the part about like we're still talking about like sex work and why it should not be considered like demeaning. We haven't even gotten to the part about like objectifying sex workers, like when it's okay to be horny versus when it's not. Like that's like we're at the novice level. Once I fucking get to that level, you're gonna a lot of people are gonna lose their minds. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? If you're a porn star, I can just crank it out to you all the time, like no matter what. Like, there's an entirely different thing between sex work and sex trafficking. Okay, for those of you who are unfamiliar, sex trafficking bad, sex work good. Okay, the key factor in this situation being consent. Very cool. One is consent. It can be unenthusiastic consent. It can be enthusiastic consent, but it's consent. The other is no consent. The other is not only just coercive, it's coercive beyond capitalist exploitation. It's coercive beyond regular work under capitalism. It's slavery. Okay? That's the difference. Unenthusiastic consent, lol. Okay? That's a real concept that sex workers talk about.
Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
It's okay. Again, this is advanced level stuff. If you're still down at the fucking novice level, if you're still having a convo, you know, sex workers are criminals and or are doing something that is bad, then we can't even get to the enthusiastic versus unenthusiastic consent. That we're not there yet. We're still in the entry level. But why do people make sex work such as OnlyFans that show out to be something we should seek to help them out of? I would literally much rather live off on OnlyFans than McDonald's. I don't get why it's demonized still so much. I don't get it either. And also, if the problem was exploitation, we would not be having this conversation around OnlyFans. Like, you can maybe say that about big porn studios. You can say that about porn agents. You can say that about managers in porn. But like, when you get to OnlyFans, that's literally another additional layer removed. So it's straight the fuck up. Workers seizing the means of production for themselves, being beholden to still another platform, of course. A platform kind of like how I'm beholden to Twitch and Amazon. But still, this is another layer of alienation removed from your labor. But for some reason, the argument is still around how sex work is exploitative and bad. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this partially is because of the real American hero that we mentioned earlier, the New York City medic that helped make ends meet with a racy OnlyFans side gig. This piece of shit article written by the New York Post. The other reason is because Pornhub just purged all of its unverified content from the platform. Pornhub is removing all videos from its site that weren't uploaded by official content partners or members of its model program, meaning a significant portion of its videos will disappear. Now, I just got to make sure that there is no pornography here so I can look at this article. Unfortunately, I don't want to get clapped up. Okay, there isn't anything like racy on here. Pornhub is removing all videos on the site as that is not verified. As a part of our policy to ban unverified uploaders, we have now also suspended all previously uploaded content that was not created by content partners or members of the model program, according to Pornhub's announcement. This means every piece of Pornhub content is from verified uploaders, a requirement that platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and Twitter have yet to institute. Sex work has always been at the forefront of technological achievements. It's just something that you probably do not know. It's something that you will probably think is funny when I mention this, but they are always at the fucking front of the line. They are literally fucking pioneers in all this stuff. They're pioneers in commodifying or in finding newer ways to generate revenue. And they are, of course, going to be at the front of the line when it comes to potential consequences of Section 230. YouTube thumbnail previews. Yep. Apparently there was hella sex trafficking and underage shit on Pornhub, so this is kind of huge. Post a verified account directly supports the creators and porn stars. They have monitors in place for all this stuff. They do a better job. They also literally host rape videos. Okay, guys, it is a fucking platform where people can upload whatever the fuck they want. Obviously, there's going to be fucking shit like this on it. They are quicker to fucking clap this stuff than YouTube is when it comes to not sexual content, but when it comes to like fucking Nazi radicalization and shit. Pornhub said the videos will be removed pending verification and review, and the verification process will begin in the new year. Prior to this change, anyone could create an account on Pornhub and upload any video they wanted to since the platform's launch in 2007. This announcement comes after a series of events last week that left the porn industry shaken. On Monday, following a piece in the New York Times opinion section that followed the lives of child sexual abuse victims whose videos are uploaded on the platform, MasterCard and Visa began an investigation into unlawful material on Pornhub. Pornhub made the policy change on Tuesday to ban all unverified users from uploading or downloading content to the site and said it would expand its moderation efforts. Good. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. But by Thursday, MasterCard and Visa announced that they'd both stop processing payments with the site altogether. Visa's announcement specifically stated it would drop all of the MindGeek network, which includes a number of adult sites, including RedTube, Porn, YouPorn, XTube, and Brazzers. For the content purge on Sunday evening, Pornhub hosted around 13.5 million videos, according to the number displayed on the site's search bar, a large number of them from unverified accounts. On Monday morning as of 9 a.m., the search bar is showing only 4.7 million videos. Holy shit, they had verified 4.7 million videos. That's crazy. Now, what is going to happen? People are probably going to try to find verified accounts that are also still bad, that have still somehow been able to pass their barrier, pass their verification protocol, like underage people having verified accounts or things like that. It's never going to be a 100% foolproof system. It never can be. There's no such thing. That has never happened. It's like saying voter fraud exists or doesn't exist. Of course, voter fraud exists. It's just marginal, and the system that you set in place is supposed to eliminate most of the instances. So that's something that you have to remind yourself when you see people saying like, "Oh, this person is like still verified and posting revenge porn." It's good to call that shit out though, because that should not exist. Like, revenge porn is illegal. Should not exist. It's terrible. It's harmful. Just like sexual exploitation in the form of sex trafficking is disgusting and horrific and should not exist either on the platform. A lot of the unverified videos on Pornhub aren't even porn. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, people fucking upload pirated videos and stuff. There's like, I think that there are memes of mine on Pornhub from unverified accounts saying like, you know, Turkish man fucks a small-headed child like Charlie Kirk. Not child, but whatever, you know what I mean? Like the fucking, there was one about Jank, like water buffalo gets fucked by a small a Jewish man, I think it was. There's a few B movies. Yeah, the Germany-Brazil 7-1 World Cup match. It's clear that Pornhub is being targeted not because of our policies and how we compare to our peers, but because we're an adult content platform. Yeah, for sure. While Pornhub's decision to stop unverified users from sharing videos on its site could greatly reduce abuse on its platform, it is not guaranteed method to stop all abuse. Pornhub continued to host Girls Do Porn and even promoted it as a Pornhub content partner while it was being sued by 22 of the women for fraud, emotional distress damages, and misappropriation of their likeness. And a motherboard investigation showed Pornhub was being used to dox and harass the women in the videos. Pornhub only removed Girls Do Porn's official channel after Girls Do Porn's owners were charged with federal sex trafficking counts. Other Girls Do Porn videos remained on the site via unverified uploaders who slipped by Pornhub's faulty moderation. Yeah, that stuff is unacceptable. It's inexcusable, and Pornhub should do better. And I'm glad that there is criticism that is public about this sort of thing, and that is truly fucked up. One of the great things about Twitch TOS, even though it is a little over the top in a lot of circumstances, is literally this. If you are a partnered uploader, if you're a partner content creator, if you're verified on Twitch, then they are very careful about what your output is. And they are constantly trying to make sure that your output does not violate terms of service. Most of the platforms have to operate this way. And very careful does not mean that shit doesn't get shit doesn't slip through the cracks. There's always issues. There are always issues. Won't this help significantly in the fight against explicit content creators having their own content uploaded without their consent? Yeah, I think it is a win for the creators, for sure. No, I don't think this is a bad thing overall. It's good. It's an honorable. They deleted the rap porn too, Sag. Oh no. Okay.